Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, General Manager, DeMarcoSports.com, and happy Thanksgiving to you. This, of course, is going to be your Thursday video report. Let me just say at the outset, listen, there are 364 other days to gamble this year. If betting today is going to affect your relationships and how you are going to be today with family and friends, just don't bet. Three little NFL games, one lousy college football game, some college basketball games. There are, again, 364 other days to wager on. And I can tell you from personal experience, 25 years ago, before I hooked up with Steve, before I created these websites, I was in the business with somebody else who, at that time, if you didn't win Thursday, when there were tens of thousands of dollars on the line, well, if you didn't win Thursday, it ruined the rest of the weekend with so much money to be made potentially Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday. And if the company lost, it put me in a miserable mood around family and friends. And then eventually I realized who gives a damn? And that's the attitude you should have. So again, I'm telling you, hey, don't even watch the video report if you're not interested. It doesn't matter. I'll be here tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Now, let's not hold me to my word because sometimes that doesn't always happen. But again, enjoy the day with your family and friends. Eat until your heart's content. Start the diet tomorrow, but maybe just watch football today instead of wager upon it. Now, listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm not enamored with any of these three games. And as I do this video report at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on Wednesday evening, I'm not sure whether I'm going football or college basketball. And I'm letting you know, my package players, the guys that are paying for my premium plays, because let's face it, college basketball has been like shooting fish in a barrel here. Because going into Wednesday, I had not only won 15 out of 21 days in all sports combined, but my top rated 15 dime college basketball best bets had won 8 out of 10, including a perfect 2-0 sweep already this weekend or this week, cashing in with UC San Diego easy by 10 over Bradley on Tuesday and Gonzaga by 10 over Alabama on Monday night. And there's a lot of interesting college basketball to be played on Thursday with all these tournaments. But as I do this video report at this particular hour, I can't tell you what the odds are going to be for Thursday's game because the tournament games haven't been completed yet on Wednesday. So what I've got, I don't know for Thursday. But before I get to your complimentary plays, as my earbud continues to fall out of my damn ear, I want to talk about the NFL. And have you noticed betting has not been particularly easy here of late? And there's a reason for that. Because underdogs have gone the past 4 weeks, they have had their best 4 week stretch. Hell, their best sustained stretch of the entire season. And when dogs are barking like that, only two things happen. Sports books make a hell of a lot of money, and gamblers generally lose a lot of money because basic human nature dictates that gamblers and handicappers, to a large extent, gravitate towards favorites. That's just the way it always is. And the other thing that always historically happens is that at the end of the year, there will generally be a very narrow spread, maybe 10 to 15 games between underdogs or favorites over the course of the entire NFL season having an advantage. So when the guys out there that are always screaming that dogs are the way to go, yeah, particular game, sure. But at the end of the year, favorites or underdogs generally will have that very narrow 10 to 15 game spread out of a zillion games being played. So if you're at DeMarcoSports.com, go to the free pick section, drop down the menu to Pro Football Free Picks, and you'll see my weekly recap where I break down the entire season, and I got last year's results as well, where I show you a week-by-week breakdown and a season year-to-date. So right now, underdogs are still 4 games under 500 at 86 and 90 on the season. But again, over the past 4 weeks, they have gone 34, 21, and 2 against the spread. Now, another way to look at it is this way. Prior to that 4 week run, there were 17 games under 500 for the season. Last year, the entire season, they finished 29 games under 500 for the year. The other caveat I always tell you, if you like a particular dog and you're getting a substantial take back, or you're getting at least $1.30 or more, I always say that maybe you should consider making a smaller secondary wager on that dog to win outright, because you will find that a considerable amount of those dogs win those games outright. So, for example, last year you had 111 dogs cover, 69 of them won outright. This year, of those 86 puppies that have covered, 55 have won outright. You can run the numbers. I'm not telling you to bet the Cleveland Browns at plus 400. But again, if you can get $1.35 or so as a take back number, a smaller secondary wager is a smart financial move. Now, in terms of straight up winners, that nice little quirky trend that I started following over 14, 15 years ago, straight up winners had their worst week of the entire season last week, going 8-5-1 against the spread. On the season, they're still hitting at an 81.1% clip, but this is the point of the year, right around week number 13, where generally the straight up winners, this trend starts to go downward. Now, last 2 years, that was not the case. And in fact, last year, the straight up winners finished at 83.7%. That was down a tick from 85% the year prior. So it'll be interesting to see if we continue on an even keel, if we take a dip, or we start to accelerate once more. But still, straight up winners, not bad. Now, in terms of these Thanksgiving Day games, let me just tell you, Thanksgiving Day chalks dating back to 2004. Favorites on Thanksgiving Day, 51-9 straight up. 40-20 against the spread. 40-20 against the spread. What does that mean? Lions, Chiefs, Ravens, perhaps? Road favorites in that stretch. 25-1 straight up. 20-6 against the spread. Interesting, huh? Interesting number. Kansas City, perhaps? And since 1990, favorites of at least 7 points on Thanksgiving Day. 30-5 straight up, 25-10 against the spread. Am I talking Baltimore? Well, I'm going to talk about Baltimore right now because that's the game I'm going to talk about first. Let's talk about that Ravens game. Listen, I was riding the Ravens once Lamar Jackson came back, but he has not looked good, particularly the last 2 games. But if you look at the last 3 games, for the first time in his 8-year career, he has gone 3 straight games with under 60% completions and under 200 yards passing. First time in his 8-year career. But each of the past 3 weeks, he has missed at least 1 practice with a different injury. First, it was a knee. Then it was an ankle. This week, I think it was a toe. Did not take part in the Monday walkthrough. He is going to play again tonight. But look at what the Ravens have done. I mean, they did not look good, and Jackson did not look good in that 23-16 comeback win at Cleveland 2 weeks ago. Did not look good in the 23-10 win against the Jets at home this past weekend, and didn't cover either one of those games. But there is no disputing that the Ravens have played well. They've reeled off 5 straight wins. And in the last 6 games, their defense giving up an average of just 14 points a game. Now, granted, they did hold the Bears and the Rams to season lows of 16 and 17 points, respectively, in that stretch, but they also played a bunch of cupcakes, too. I mean, it's not like Miami, Minnesota, the Browns, and the Jets exactly offered a lot of offensive challenges. You know the Bengals are getting Joe Burrow back here tonight. What version of Joe Burrow are we going to get? And the Bengals certainly have no defense. They're going to miss T. Higgins. He's out. They get Jamar Chase back. Burrows has never done well recently here against division rivals, going 1-9 against the spread in his last 10. And Lamar Jackson, 10-1 lifetime against the Bengals with 24 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So if I'm going to play the game, I've got to take Baltimore minus the 7 points. And, of course, I'm going to buy down that half point with the Ravens in this particular case. Now, the Lions-Packers game, your guess is as good as mine. I can't say, listen, I lost with the Lions this past Sunday. I was going for NFL winner number 7 out of 8, and I lost with the Lions. So I don't know what they make with the Lions. The offense looked a little better. How could it not look better after that bad performance against the Eagles the week prior? But the defense leaves a lot to be desired, but then again, it has a lot of injuries. And you never know what you get from the Packers from one week to another. First time the Packers are an underdog this season, 1-4 against the spread on the road. Lions lost the first meeting in Lambeau, but that was week number 1. But I always discount week number one performances because with the way these coaches take the preseason and just toss it away, I think in week number one, you don't really get a true meaning of, a true judge of character of these teams, especially offensively. And, the Packers are coming off that 23-6 home win against Minnesota. The prior week, they beat the Giants, had to rally for that win against the Giants, 27-20. The same team that the Lions had to rally against to win in overtime last week at home. So what can I tell you? Absolutely nothing about the game. I don't know which way to go. I mean, I think it's a toss-up. And then you've got the Kansas City Dallas game. The Chiefs are -3.5. Had red zone problems last week. 1 for 6 in the red zone against Indianapolis, but they did win that game. So, is that a teaser possibility perhaps with Baltimore? Taking Baltimore in a 2-team 7-point teaser down? Taking Baltimore even at home and then taking the Chiefs +3.5 at Dallas? I think that's an interesting choice. Listen, I am not impressed by Dallas winning 2 straight games. I mean, my God, they beat the Raiders in Las Vegas. The Raiders suck. And then last week, you answered this question for me. Did the Cowboys win or did the Eagles lose? This is a particular case where both things can be true. Just saying. So listen, the best of the worst free pick today would be Baltimore -7. The second worst of the best 2 free picks would be a teaser with Baltimore and Kansas City and the 2-team 7-point teaser, taking the Ravens down to pick them at home and taking Kansas City +3.5 at Dallas. But I think probably I just would ride with the Ravens. And again, if you're a customer of mine and you're seeing this video before my plays are launched live on Thursday, well, I haven't decided what I'm going to go with. But again, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Whatever you're eating, enjoy it. Put on those calories. Worry about it on Friday. Good luck, everybody.